All right, you guys, welcome to our February leaders meeting. This month, we're doing it with your SD, so with your STAR director, me and Anya Faust. First things first, I'm going to do top 10 PRV out of the whole group, so out of 326 consultants in February. Number one was Sarah Evans. It was her first month, over 4K in PRV, which is insane. She's about to hit 4K a month, 4K this month too. Shonda Lappin was also in the top 10. Paulina Quay, Whitney Hebel, yay, Tara Dickerson, Randy, I'm going to butcher this last name, Randy L. Leffa, something?
Lefebvre?
Lefebvre?
Lefebvre.
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 Lefebvre. Okay.
It's French.
Well, clearly I'm not. Congratulations, Randy. You're amazing. Sylvia Slutsky, Jordan Barnett, Sarah Panko, Laura Blaylock, Paige Rooswald, Emily Nunley, Meredith McCowan, Katrina Anderson, and Dawn Sibley. So I think that was 13 of us, but I wanted to make sure I shouted everyone out that got 2K last month because last month was a little rough. So 2K is pretty darn good for January. Promotions in the group. Lead consultant Paulina Quay and Sarah Evans. Sarah double promoted from Essential. Again, it was her first month. Mindy Hilton also double promoted to lead, which is amazing. You're going to have to watch this so I don't miss anything. Faith Imbolt also promoted to lead. Samantha Benson and Sherry Shallow Warren. Hopefully I said that correct. Congratulations. Cherie. Okay. Star Randy again. Congratulations. Shonda double promoted, and Alex Wellman also double promoted to Star. So that's, again, amazing, especially in a J month, January. Amazing, amazing. And then Ashley Cushing promoted to Superstar Consultant. So, and I feel like she just joined, so she's killing it. Top sponsoring for all of the group, again, these people had 2 new teamies last month. Tiffany Rashawn, Casey Miles, and Alex Wellman. And then we had 25 people sponsor one new teammate, which is pretty awesome as well. So again, for a J month, we had almost 30 new teamies. So that's amazing. All right, so y'all hear me always talk about active frontline. You're going to continue to hear me talk about that. So I always like to recognize that. Most active frontline last month in January, I had 32, which was a new high for me. So that was exciting. Anya had 17. Nikki Mayhew and Paige Rooswald had 8. Casey Miles had 7. Tiffany Rashawn had 6. And Katrina Anderson and Jordan Barnett both had 5. So congratulations to all of y'all. That's a huge deal. All of those ladies are consistently growing their business and doing amazing. Our group sales in January were $151,834. So again, amazing out of 326 people. Not our best month, but definitely not our worst. That's pretty amazing. I only have a couple announcements tonight before we get started. The first one is SFR. They have announced that is going to be virtual. They will not be going to Charlotte as planned, but we're going to do what we did last year and go to Myrtle Beach again. So last year, Chloe and pretty much her whole group was invited to the beach, to Myrtle Beach, it's called the Tillman Resort in Myrtle Beach. It's actually right there by Cherry Grove too. So it's, what's that, south or north? North Myrtle Beach, I think. So we're not like south. Okay. Well, it's not in the heart of Myrtle Beach. So it made me feel better about going last year, but we are, as our group, we're going to go again. Some of the other STAR directors are also going back to Myrtle. I'm not sure what other people are doing, but that's what we're going to do again this year. The Tillman is a like a condo resort. So I think the smallest they have are 2 bedrooms. And I think there's just 2 and 3 bedrooms. So we got a 3-bedroom last year and 6 of us split it. And it came out to like less than $500 for the whole time. So it was a really good deal. I personally, Eric's not going to be able to go again this year, so I will be coming by myself, but feel free to bring your husband, make it a family vacay. And then maybe you can slip away for a little bit to do some Cincy specific things, but definitely start planning now. We kind of had a feeling it was going to go virtual just with the unknown of what's going to happen. So if you're planning to go to Charlotte, just go a little bit more south. It's going to be so much fun. Last year we got to hang out. I got to meet Paige and Jordan for the first time. And now they're directors. So that's a good representation of what can happen at SFR. So if you can do it, if you can swing it, I know some of y'all are super close within driving distance. If not, cheap flights are super cheap right now. And we're going regardless. So plan it if you want to come. And the only other thing I had was, I'm going to keep saying it, sign the permission slip for your leaders to shout you out. You have to let each leader have permission. So if I'm your star director and your director, but you have a different like upline, maybe your sponsor also wants to shout you out. Just because you allow them doesn't mean you allow me. So every single leader, all of y'all also need to be getting permission from your people. Anyone that you're sharing any information about, to be on the safe side, you need to have their permission. You don't necessarily need to do it in a Google form. Me and the other directors and Anya, we do it in that because it's easier to compile the information. But if you have a group of like 5 people, just message them and say, hey, is it okay if I share your numbers? That's your permission. That's it. I think that's it. So make sure you're giving your leader permission and you're getting your people's permission to share, because technically you're supposed to have that before you share any information as far as their numbers, if they're active, any of that stuff. All righty. So as Anya mentioned earlier, we are going to talk to y'all about coaching and training and consistency and with sponsoring and paid at title. So we have a lot of things to cover tonight. It's not going to be long because a lot of these things you've already heard, but we're going to dig just a little bit deeper. So I'm going to let Anya take it over. And I got to remember to put this on. Where you at?
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
All right. So I'm going to start us off with sponsoring consistently. And the first thing is, when you're looking to sponsor consistently, which you all should be doing, it should become a lifestyle. So when I say consistently, I don't mean like, oh, I asked one person in a month. No, this is like PRV, okay? Your business, then you need to go into right thinking about who am I asking, who am I talking with this month, who am I sharing this opportunity with? So to start off, you need to have a goal. Okay, that's like the biggest thing. If you are shooting for annual mentor, shoot for annual mentor. That's 14, right? 14 certified consultants that you have personally sponsored. Shoot for that. If that's your goal, that's great. But then you need to break it down. So if you're like, I want to do annual mentor, you need to break it down by month or even by week, how many people you should be talking to, right? So say 1 in 10 people say yes to you. How many people should you be talking to a month? You need to be thinking like that and break it down to small goals so that you can achieve that, okay? In the time limit that you have. So whatever you need to do, break that big goal down into a small goal. And we know that a big business is 2 teamies a month. You want to be shooting for 2 teamies. I will say, if you're shooting for 2 teamies, a reinstate does not show up on the report. Like they show up when you search their name, but like I had reinstate and a new person last month, but it shows I only sponsored 1 person. So just keep that in mind because they're not going to go towards your annual mentor goals. Okay. But anyways, so you want 2 teamies a month to grow a big business. That is huge. And you need to be tracking this in some way. Okay. So I know we've posted on the leaders group, we have the annual mentor tracker. I literally just printed 2 of them out and filled them filled them out. I haven't been tracking that since I hit Annual Mentor, but I track in a different way too. So I do not do like 100 people. I can't. My brain doesn't. I can't. So I have to focus on 20 people at a time. So this is my 2021. Okay. And I literally just go in here and I have written down every single person that I've been talking to since January about the opportunity and what they said. If they said yes, it's not fancy. If they said yes, if they said maybe, if they said no, if they said I don't know, I thought about it, then that means I'm going to write it down and I'm going to keep checking in with those people. I'm going to keep creating a relationship with those people. A no for now does not mean a no forever. Okay. Keep that in mind. So be tracking that in some way, who you've talked to, because otherwise you're going to forget. You'll go back to your messages and be like, oh, dang, I already talked to that person. I had no idea. Okay. So track it. Okay. Also, I want you guys to be thinking about this. I told my team, literally 75% of my frontline has never purchased a thing from me. Never. Like they've never purchased. So you need to be thinking about that too, because what does that mean? That means that I'm showing up consistently and people know that I'm the Scentsy girl. These people, they haven't all had parties with me, but they've joined. So they know, they don't even have to think about it. They know that I'm the Scentsy girl. They know I'm sharing the opportunity consistently. That is the key word in my stories, on my page, talking about what Scentsy has done for me. Okay. You cannot sit here silent and think people are just going to join your team because you have Scentsy in your bio. Like that ain't going to happen. It's not. You'll be very super blessed if people just randomly show up and are like, I'd like to join Scentsy. That's not going to happen for 14 people that you want for Annual Mentor. Like you have to say something. A lot of people won't come to you. And then if you ask, hey, have you ever thought about this? They're like, well, I actually have. And you'll be surprised at how many people have thought about doing what you do. Okay. You cannot count on 1 or 2 people to help your numbers. So when we're talking about sponsoring consistently, we're serious, you guys. If someone has a bad month, like if Whitney would have relied on me last month, like that would have been rough. I had a rough month. My hostess were not helping me out at all, okay? You cannot just rely on 1 or 2 people. You need to grow a big business, a big, wide, deep frontline, because not everybody's gonna be on every single month. Life happens. Life happens. Mark just posted, he's like, my grandfather passed. Life happens. Right? Not everybody is on 24/7 and we're human. It's not going to happen. So you need to make sure that you have enough frontline to where you can cover these numbers and still be paid at title without having to worry about not being paid at title. Okay. So you need to be thinking about adding every single person from every single party that you do. I know it's weird, but I do a little blurb at the end of my party. And I'm basically like, I'm going to add you to my Facebook. If you don't want to accept, don't. But this is how I'm getting out all the newest and best Scentsy information is my stories. And I just go down the list. I don't care if they bought from me. I don't care if they were quiet. And I add every single one of them. Okay. Why? Because I don't know who's going to host, who's going to join, who's going to see something and want to buy something later. Like I'm not going to slam that door on myself and only get the people who bought from me. That's ridiculous. I want to open that network and talk to everybody. Okay. Because you have to remember too, you always have a join special. Just because your host said no, she doesn't want to join and it should be offered to every single host does not mean that you can't give that kit to somebody else. That kit can go to anybody. Okay. So always your host, you should always be saying something. If my host says no, I post it in the party. I have a discounted join kit. If they say no, cool. I'm going to talk to a few people that are on my dream team list in here that have said maybe, hey girl, you ready yet? I have that like kit for you. It's ready. Okay. Be thinking about how to be smarter when you're doing this. All right. You can't just like randomly pick people and be like, hey, you want to join Scentsy? Not very many people are going to say yes to that. They're just not. So consistently sharing Scentsy, because you never know when someone's going to absorb what you're putting out. So if you're sharing the opportunity once a year in your stories, that ain't enough. If you're sharing it once a month, it's not enough. I'm telling you, you guys, I don't even know. It takes people an average of so many times to see something before they're like, wait a minute, I really could do that. So you think you're being annoying, but that person has 100 other people on their Facebook. They're not fully just paying attention to you. You need to be sharing the opportunity and what Scentsy's doing in your life. If you got an incentive, you need to shout yourself out. Get something in the mail, you need to shout it out. Oh my gosh, Whitney sent me this PRV card. Stop posting it to our team pages. Okay. I love you. Stop. We all know you're great. You're at the banner at the top of our pages. We all know you're doing great. Show it to people who aren't involved in Scentsy so they can see, whoa, they get Happy Meal every month. That's so cool. Whoa, look at her. People join successful people. They're watching you. You're a leader, right? So if you're posting about what Scentsy's doing for you, that you got that extra coffee or you did whatever, that's huge. They see you as successful in direct sales. Think of how many direct sales people you have on your Facebook page and how many you think are successful. Because I can name some Scentsy people, but that's about it. Like, I don't know any successful Pampered Chef people. I don't know any successful Color Street people. Think about those things, okay? Like, they want to see what you're doing. Nobody wants to join someone that's not doing anything, right? Like, why would you do that? That makes no sense. They can't teach you to be better or teach you to be great. They can't do that. So be thinking about all of that stuff, okay? And people join who they trust. If they don't think you're using the product, if you're not snapping a picture of this meeting being like, oh my gosh, I love my team, you're doing something wrong. So everybody should be pulling out their cell phones if you're not on it and snap a freaking picture, do a screenshot, whatever, okay? Because people want to see that. They're like, man, look at her. She's investing into her business. They join who they trust. They buy from who they trust. So I had someone tell me that she chose to buy from me instead of her sister-in-law because I was serious about it. Y'all, for real? Okay, cool. Like, I'll take that all day. You'd rather help me than your sister-in-law? Let's do it, girl. So think about it, okay? Another thing, seriously talk to everyone. We've talked about intentional scrolling before. When you're scrolling through your Facebook, talk to people. If they're complaining about their job, y'all talk to them. Like, hey, you feel like you're not making enough money? You know, side hustles are where it's at right now. I got something for you. Like, come on, let's do this together. Throw it out there. And I know that sounds weird, but like, you have your dream team list, but then you'll also notice things when you're scrolling. So I take 15 minutes a day to intentionally scroll my Facebook. That's not commenting on stuff. That's literally seeing who is complaining, right? Who's complaining? Who do I think could use more money? Who do I think could use the friendships, the opportunity, anything? 15 minutes a day. Literally, I sit down and my husband clocks me. We turn on a stupid show. He clocks me for 15 minutes and I'm intentionally scrolling. And those are the people that are in this list. So then I start to talk to them and I start to get a better relationship with them. Okay. So you have to really be thinking about doing everything in a smarter way and not just cold messaging people. Don't do that. That's nasty. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. But you have to like get to know them, find some type of common ground to start talking to them. Okay. Then you need to coach up your team. And Whitney's going to talk about this to do the same. There should never be a point in your business where you are not telling one of your teamies that they should be sponsoring. You should never, ever, ever discourage them for sponsoring because that helps you. Like that helps your GWV too, not just theirs, right? So don't ever tell them no. You want to help them, okay? That's crucial. You have to teach your team to do the same thing because that way it's just going to keep growing. And then it's going to bless your team because they're going to become leaders. If you stifle that, you're screwing yourself over in the long run and you're screwing them and you really shouldn't be a leader. I'm just going to be honest. Like you shouldn't be here if you're going to take that away from people. That's not right. Okay. So you want your team to sponsor and you need to push it hard. Push it hard. But the thing is, if you're not doing it, they're not going to do it either. So you have to get uncomfortable. You have to have those conversations and then they will want to do the same thing. It's not easy. I used to have 2 or 3 glasses of wine and talk to people about joining and even partying. And now it's not even a big deal. I'm like, hey girl, you want to join Scentsy? Like the more you do it, the better you become at it and the more natural it becomes. And that's what people like. Okay. So go sponsor consistently.
Yes. Amazing. All right. So as Anya said, consistent sponsoring is what's going to build the foundation of your business. I gotta change the view of this so I can see everybody. Okay. But sponsoring it's consistent sponsoring is what's going to build your business, your foundation for your business. Okay. But once you have those people on with you, they've joined you, they've already hit that join button. We are not leaving them out in the cold. Okay. Your job as their sponsor is to coach and train them. Now, if you know me, if I'm your sponsor, you know I don't handhold. I am not going to put everything on a silver platter for you because you are an independent business owner. But I send every single one of my new people an email. And because one of the biggest things when I joined is that it was all very overwhelming. I didn't know which way to look. I didn't know what to do. And so I give them 3 things to focus on. And that's all in the email. And I have carefully planned this email out. It has links to videos. It gives them everything they need to start their business. Now, the other part of this business is people are going to learn as they go. Some people want to know every little thing when they start this business. It's literally impossible because there's just so much to learn. They're not going to be able to get everything right away and be like, okay, I have to learn everything first before I have to do my launch party. No, we're doing our launch party and we're going to learn as we go. People that don't like to make mistakes are going to have to make mistakes to learn. It's just part of the business. And that's what I tell them too. So when they're like, have a million questions, like I always tell them, just start your launch party and let's go through it. Cause that's the best way you're going to learn. So there is a good medium to coaching and training your people. There's a good balance to that. You should have business hours as a leader. If you have anyone on your team, you should have business hours and you should set those boundaries. When you have someone join, you want to do all the things. You want to help them. You want to answer every question, and that's great. But if you were to set them up so they know where to find those questions, they wouldn't be messaging you at all times of the night. Okay. So that's the thing that I think of when I'm having people join, when they're asking me at 2:00 in the morning, what a perpetual party reward is. What can I do to fix that? What can I do so that doesn't continue to ask? So that doesn't continue to happen. Sorry. So I'm always evolving too. I'm never going to be like, yes, I've got it down. I'm always going to be adding stuff, taking away. Now, coaching and training, difference in training and coaching. And I have notes, I'm looking at them. I actually just did a training on coaching and training in the Leap to Lead group that Anya led or is leading. So this is going to be pretty similar to that. None of y'all are in that group because you're already leaders, but this will be uploaded to YouTube as well. So training is a transfer of knowledge while coaching is enhancing the knowledge. So when you're training on a subject, you're showing them how to update their website. You're training them on how to enter a party. But when you're coaching someone, you're enhancing that knowledge. So you're having that one-on-one coaching with someone, you're doing as a leader all the time. You're coaching people. Anytime you speak to someone, anytime you post something, you're coaching or you're training, one of the two. So the best thing to realize is that you're already doing it in some type of way, but that may need to be altered and made better, right? To be more effective. So always, first things first, your business. As a leader, you cannot coach, you cannot train, you cannot do anything unless you have a successful business yourself, AKA you need your PRV. That's just what it comes down to. If your PRV is holding you back from being paid at title, if your PRV is not to 500 before your team hits their team numbers, you need to reevaluate what you're doing in your business, okay? We need to be front loading as a leader. We need to know where our PRV is coming from the first week of the month. And again, did that always happen for me? No, many times I was waiting to get my 500 for me to be paid at title, but I learned that that's what needs to happen to have a successful business and be paid at title by the 10th every month. Okay. So that's what I'm trying to help you do better. I'm not saying that this is something that I've always done. This is something I've learned. So your business first. You cannot coach someone on a business you aren't actively doing yourself. Knowledge and experience comes from doing this. Again, you don't have to know everything to be a leader, to coach someone. You don't. Do you need to do your research? Yes. Should you be actively running your business? Yes, but that doesn't mean you have to have all the answers for everything. Okay. So like I said, you're always coaching, you're always training, every time you post something informational, you're doing one of the two. You just need to be more aware of which one you're doing and how consistent you're doing both of them. So training, that should be something that's almost every day as a leader, sharing something, especially as a director. Okay, if you're a director, you post something to your page that's either motivational training or coaching every single day. So if you want to be a director, you might as well start doing that every single day. Now, most directors, SDs and SSDs, we schedule our post out so we can focus on our business first, right? And I feel like that's something that's really helpful. A side note to that is if you want to start posting consistently in your director's page, hopefully they're okay with this. If not, that's their choice, but ask to be a moderator on the page. So you can schedule out those posts. So you can say, I'm only a star consultant, but I want to post every day. I want to do that too. I want to go ahead and start doing that now. So when I hit director, it's already something that I'm doing. So ask them to be a moderator and schedule those posts out. Now, do you need to post every single day right now and you're a lead consultant? Probably not, but the faster you start acting like a director, the faster you're going to become a director, okay? So in addition to coaching and training every single day on team pages, through text messages, we also do coaching calls. So something with that, I have a few requirements that I ask people to meet before I coach with them. One, because my time is just as precious as everyone else's on this team. Coaching calls take time, a lot of time to prep for, to do. A lot of time my coaching calls go way over than what I expect them to, because I love doing them because they fire me up too. So even as the coach, like every time I leave a coaching call, I leave with something too. So when you're coaching your people, if you're not leaving with something when you're coaching them, something needs to be changed. Okay. So the requirements that I ask is that they have 500 by the 15th. Why? Because that's training aspect. PRV is something that you can be trained on, but you cannot be coached on PRV. We all know how to get 500 PRV. If you don't, again, you need to reevaluate and you need to figure out more ways to get PRV before you start focusing on coaching other people on doing things like that, okay? I also require that they finish the Guide to Growth program. That is a long program. It is full of amazingness. It's also in my welcome email. Right off the bat, I tell them, go ahead and start watching that. I wish that I had something like that when I first started. I don't even know what I would do if I had something like that. So that's something that I offer my people right away when they join. I didn't always do that, but I've learned the earlier, the better. I require that they finish that program because I want them to invest time into their own business before I invest time into their business. Okay, you should do the same. Your time is precious. You cannot get on the phone and talk about what y'all did last weekend when you're supposed to be having a coaching call. We're not getting on a coaching call and talking about PRV or how to get more PRV, because that is that's the foundation of your business. That's something that you can work on yourself. You don't need a coach or you don't need a sponsor to necessarily help you with that, in my opinion. And then I also have them fill out a form the day before our call. I ask them to do it the day before so their numbers are most up to date. And in that form, they should know what we're going to talk about. It is a reflection. So on those forms, I ask, like, what is your current PRV and what was your PRV for last month? How many people have you sponsored in the last 90 days? What was your TWV? What was it last month? That's going to show you that if you sponsored 0 people in the last 90 days, that's what we're going to be talking about. If you say that you're right at 500 this month, but last month you had 2K PRV, we're probably going to say, what was the difference in that month? What's going on this month? A coaching call is a time for your upline to coach you. So just like a sports team, we're enhancing what you already know. We're enhancing what you're already doing. We're cheering you on. A big part of coaching is, backtrack real quick, the form also helps me prepare for the call. So again, not only do they know what we're talking about, but I need to be able to pull some numbers if I need to. I need to personally know what I'm going to be saying to them specifically or what we're talking about. Now, parts of coaching, listening. They should be doing most of the talking. If they have a question, I usually turn it a question. I try to turn a question back on them. losing my spot. I start every call with asking them how they feel about their business. I want them to tell me what is going on. How do they feel? They're going to tell you right off the bat what they need help with. They're going to tell you what's worrying them, all of those things. Letting them talk, but not being judgmental, and having time to reflect before you give an answer is super important too with coaching. These are all things I'm working on, because I will talk. And then actually with ACL, I learned a lot with that program, that I should do more listening. And honestly, people can work through a lot of things themselves. They just need someone to listen to them. Okay. And I have found that to be very true. So questioning their questions, being the devil advocate. Well, what if you tried this? Have you thought about this? Making them think and making them give themselves the answer is going to make them remember what you're talking about more, because they came up with the solution, not you. Giving feedback, addressing how people are working towards their goal, and giving feedback when invited. Look, I'm never going to tell you this, and this is what you need to be doing, or this and this is what you should try, unless you ask me. Okay. Straight up, if you're not willing to have some self-reflection and have someone be like, tell me what the deal is, what can I do better? I'm not going to give that to you. That's not who I am. That's not what I'm here for. Okay. And neither are you for your people. Affirmation and trust in coaching is huge. Positivity, conveying faith, and building relationships and trust with your people are so important. This is all should be done very authentically. And how do I say this? If you are not being authentic in the things you share, or the things that you say, or the things that you're doing in your business, your team is going to realize that. Okay. Again, you don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to know everything. But you saying, I don't know that answer, but I'll get back to you. Someone asked me a question the other day. It was, are the Buddy's eyes sewn on or glue on? And I was like, I've never even thought about that question. But I was like, I have no idea, but that's a really good question for safety, right? Some moms may want to know, which it is. I told her I had no idea, and I got back to her the next day that they were sewn on. So just things like that, where you have them realize that you're a real person too. And people respect that just as much as they respect someone who's been doing it for years and years. They're going to respect that you don't know, but you'll find out, or you'll try and find the answer with them or for them. And trust also comes with showing up every day. So when someone is, if you have your own team page, if you have your 6 people or above, you should definitely start your new page, because say you're star consultant and you promote to director and you don't have a team page. None of those people in your downline are going to see you as their director. Why? Because that person who was their director consistently showed up for them from the beginning. That's like the grandma, right? They've been there from the beginning. They're not going anywhere. All of the people that are on this call, my assumption is that you want to hit director one day. Again, just like I said earlier, if you want to be a director, start acting like one now. It will come so much sooner, so much easier, so much smoother. And I believe that every single director will tell you that on our team as well. Everyone will say, I wish I would have started earlier. I wish I would have started coaching calls earlier. I wish I would have done this earlier. And a lot of that keeps people from doing those things is self-doubt. They don't feel worthy that someone wants to hear what they say. They don't feel worthy that people are going to respect them. And I've said this time and time again, as long as you continue to show up and you're consistent with people, they're going to start respecting you. They're going to start seeing you as the constant in their business, right? So again, it's not knowing everything, it's just being there. Okay, so reflection, how things work for you in a similar problem, like I just said, reflecting yourself in your notes too. Every single coaching call I have on a spreadsheet. I have a frontline spreadsheet, and then I have a downline spreadsheet for my coaching calls. And every single coaching call I have has notes. I am a pen and paper note taker, but if that note doesn't make it into my computer, there's no telling where it's going to go. So I keep it in an Excel spreadsheet. I type up the notes from that call. And so when I have the next call, I can say, okay, well, what did we talk about last time? Because I'm not going to talk to the person that I talked to 3 months ago about the same thing I'm talking about the next 3 months. Okay, if they fill out the form and they're having the exact same problem, I'm going to say, here are our notes from last time, go back. And it's not ugly, but there's no point in wasting my time and their time about talking about the same thing we just talked about 3 months ago. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Your time is valuable, your time and their time. Okay. So let's use our time wisely. And I say that now because with a team of 5, it may not be very hard. You'll want to have coaching calls. A lot of people are having coaching calls every month. But then think about when you get to a group of like 500 people, then what? What are you going to do? You're not going to be able to coach every single one of them. No, you have to build independent business owners. So going back to the coach aspect, you want them to be their best. You want them to help surpass their own expectations. That is a huge part of this business. It's a huge part of my journey. I never expected to do what I'm doing now with Scentsy. And probably more than half of y'all can say the same thing. But making them and helping them realize that there is more, there's always more. There's no ceiling income in this business. You can do anything you want as long as you're willing to put in the work. Work with them towards their goals. Okay. So goals are not supposed to be met every single month. If you're doing that, your goals aren't high enough. We have people on our team who are about to hit director. They didn't want to hit director 2 months ago. Guess what? They're worthy. They're doing it and they're going to kick it out. They're going to hit it out of the ball field this month. Okay. Act as a cheerleader. You are their cheerleader. You want them to do well. Why wouldn't you? Being authentic and wanting people to do their best and getting the most out of this business is the heart and soul of it. And then focus on the goal. That's why you'll always ask me, what are your goals? I want a paycheck goal. I want to know what you want this business to do as far as a goal. Like, what's your goal with this business? And what's the benefit of this business? Why? It always comes back to the why. Why are you doing this? And then just a little bit on training once a week as a leader live. I want to see your face. I want to see you get on a video and talk to me and your people about a subject. It doesn't have to be anything drawn out. It can be a 5-minute live about what you're doing in your business. The how I'm working hashtag is amazing. But if all you're doing is showing your team how you're working is super important, but that's not all you should be doing. You should be training them on topics. How can you help your team? What are the questions that you're getting from people? I'm a list person. Y'all know this. I have an ongoing list of probably 40 topics that I've done Tip Tuesday on. I'll be happy to share that. So you can pick off that and say, oh, I'm going to pick this topic. I'm going to do some research and I'm going to go live on it. Once a week. I want every single leader going live once a week on their director's page. Showing up weekly to be consistent, like I just said. Pay attention to the questions your team is having, or choose something that you think could be helpful. And then see what other leaders are training on and do your own. Super simple. Go on to the people who are successful in this business, onto their YouTube channel, watch their video, listen to what they have to say, and then do your own training on it. It's not going to be the same training unless you're literally taking it word for word. No, you're going to go watch their training. You're going to learn from them. You're probably going to go implement it. You might do some research, and then you're going to come back to your team and you're going to tell them how it goes in your business, how it affects your business. Okay. So yeah, that's all I got on coaching and training. So yes, I will definitely share that list. I have a Tip Tuesday for my team, and I have a Tip Tuesday list for my leaders page too. And I share that with other directors in Scentsy too, because it's super helpful to other people. And I just keep an ongoing list. And then probably in a few months, I'll go pick something at the top that I haven't done in a while. Because that's all this business is repeating the same thing over and over again, just perfecting it. So me and Anya are going to talk about paid at title and the importance. I asked earlier this month if it's important to you, and everyone said yes. Thank God. So glad that is important. I'm going to share my screen with y'all because I want to share. There it is. Where'd y'all go? Okay. I want to share with y'all an example of being paid at title and not being paid at title. So I'm going to share my screen. Which one is it? This one? It's gonna be that one. Who knows what's about to show up? Uh-oh, open system preferences. Where's that at? Applications. Sorry.
You're looking for system preferences?
Yes.
Go to it looks like settings on an Apple phone. It's a little cog wheel.
Yes, thank you. Tell you, I'm still learning this Mac.
I'm your Mac girl if you need any help.
Wait, where to go? Is this it? Sorry guys, I should have done this before. Ooh, that's not it. So where'd the system preferences go?
Let me see something.
Okay, now what? Never mind, I see it. What did it say I had to do? Security and privacy. Where's security and privacy? There's privacy.
It looks like a little house.
Say again?
Looks like a little house with a lock on it and system preferences.
Dang it, I did this, everything. Anya, did you have anything about the importance of being paid at title while I look for this? Sorry.
Yes. One, I wrote that check. That would be like the biggest thing. Why is it important to be paid a title? That check. Like, you want a good check or not? Okay. You want to be paid at title. Also, I put in here growth for when you hit director, because like director Q happens, but if you can avoid that, that would be fantastic, right? That'd be fantastic for everybody, for you, for your upline, for everybody. Because Sensi awards director consistency. Okay. So if you hit director numbers, like if you're paid at title as a director for 3 months in a row, you get free SFR registration. Okay. Super exciting, super cool. Like, who doesn't want just another award, right? Or an incentive to hit numbers. And then if you get paid for 6 months consistently, you get free registration to SFR leadership registration and Sensi luggage. And let me tell you guys, we got the Grow with the Flow luggage. It's bomb. It's a different color, but it's the same thing, and it's bomb. And I'm like, I want that other luggage set too. Like, why can't I have 2 luggage sets? Okay. So remember that, like, it helps you in the long run. Okay. So you want that. And that's another reason why you want to grow your team, your frontline and your downline. You want your people to be sponsoring too, because it literally just helps you get to your numbers to be paid at title. Then you get all of your team bonuses, that paycheck. Right. And then if you're not paid at title for 3 months consistently as a director, then you go into director Q. So not that big of a deal. You have 3 more months to climb out of director Q and keep growing your team, right? And your team to keep growing, which will help you stay out of the director Q or get out early if you happen to go in there. But if you don't get out of director Q within the 3 months that they give you, so it's 6 months total of you not being paid at title, okay, you go back to being a superstar consultant. So director is the first title that you can lose, all right? So that's another reason why you want to consistently just keep growing your team. You want your team to grow their team, and it just keep building upon building upon building. The more people you have, the easier it's going to be to get paid at title, okay? So that's probably one of the biggest things where I'm like, you need to be paid at title from the get-go. Start focusing on being paid at title as a lead, as a star, as a superstar, all the way up, and just building that team, pouring into your downline, telling them to build their teams so that you don't have to worry about things like that. Because that's not fun. Nobody wants that added pressure, right? It's not fun. And so, yeah, so that's like my biggest thing, that check, basically. So, Whitney, did you figure it out? You want me to keep going? Keep going. Okay. So besides that check, You want to make sure that you're paid at title, really for a number of reasons too, because people pay attention to the shout outs. So they pay attention if you've been so-and-so's paid a title, they're paying attention. And so again, that creates more trust in your team when they see that you're doing what you should be doing, right? Your job, basically, you're getting paid to pour into these people, to coach these people, to train them up. When they see that, then they have more trust in you. If you're a leader, but you're not being paid at title, or you're not showing up, or you're not doing any of the things you're supposed to be doing, they're not going to trust in you as much as they would if they saw you consistently showing up, consistently being paid at title, consistently doing all these trainings and all these other things. So I think that's really important, because who wants to follow someone they don't trust? Not me. Like, my husband's in the Army and he had a leader, and he said one of the leaders was so great. He's like, I would follow him into a burning building, hands down, quickly. The other one, he's like, I would not follow that man into McDonald's. So think about that. Okay. Like, which leader do you want to be? Burning building, McDonald's? I don't know. Are you good now? Okay.
Sorry, y'all. I apologize. Too many, there we go. Too many new things. All right. So this seems like probably a bunch of mumble jumble, but I'm going to highlight the important part. Being paid at title or not being paid at title is leaving money on the table, literally. Okay. So star consultant Susie Q, not paid at title. She has her 2000 PRV. She has her GWB, but she does not have her 2 active frontline. So with that, I have broken it down in her paycheck on all of her PRV, her bonus, because you get a personal bonus as a lead and above as a leader. Her paycheck is $651, not being paid at title, with 2K PRV. Now, the same concept, star consultant Susie Q still has her 2000 PRV. You can see the difference in the GWB, and that was just to make this second active frontline active. So it was a difference of a little over $100 in sales. With that and being paid at title, she's going to have a $54 difference in her paycheck just by being paid at title, just by having one of her frontline sell a little bit more. Now, with lead and star, a lot of people, including myself, when I was a lead, I was like, does it really matter though? Because is it really going to be that much of a difference? And again, this comes back to foundation, right? So this is a $54 difference as a star consultant. As a lead, it's probably going to be a little bit less. But when you're a superstar consultant or a director, star director, SSD, all of those little things are going to add up. When you have 30 plus active frontline and you're not paid at title, there's going to be a huge difference. We're talking thousands, okay? We're not talking about tens or hundreds. We're talking about thousands, okay? So second example is a superstar consultant, Mary May, not paid at title with her 2100 PRV. She has her GWB, but one of her, she does not have her 3 active front lines. I hope I did this right. She has, yes, her lead active frontline and her other certified active frontline. She has a lead frontline who is not active, so obviously not paid at title. She has a certified that's not active, and then she has a certified that has 0, which happens more than you probably want to even know. So this is the breakdown of her check. She's going to get $630 from her PRV as not being paid at title. So she's getting paid as a star consultant right here. Her percentages are going to be for star consultants, and her paycheck is $812. Now, that same Mary May has about the same GWB. It's an $80 difference in sales to make that one, this underline certified active frontline active. The difference in her paycheck is $185 from $80 in sales from that one person to make her paid at title. So I focused on active frontline because we have a lot of leaders who are not paid at title because of their active frontline. We have a lot of leaders not paid at title just because they're hitting GWB, they're hitting their personal numbers, but they don't have enough active frontline. They actually have enough frontline. They have plenty of frontline, but they're not active. So that shows me a few things. One, they're probably not being trained or coached. They're relying on their director to hope that these people who are 4 people down from their director, that they have no clue who it is, they're relying on them to train them. Okay, we go back to personal relationship then again. Okay, I can train all day, but if these people don't know me personally, they probably don't care what I have to say, to be completely honest, because I don't have a relationship with them. So this is the perfect example, $185 just because of $80 in sales from one person. That's the difference at those 2 paychecks. That may not seem like that much, but say you're not paid at title for 6 months. That's almost 12, that's what, $1,100? It's over $1,000 that that's gone. You don't have access to, okay? And I wanted to show this, and I can share this with y'all. But when you're not paid at title as a superstar consultant, you're going to be paid at whatever title you're paid at. So this person is paid as a star. And then same thing for, and this is something that a lot of people probably don't know, even if this person, this lead consultant is not active, so obviously she's not paid at title or he's not paid at title, you're still getting paid off them as a lead. You're not getting that 9% as the certified consultant. You're getting that 7% off the TWV as a lead consultant, because once they hit that title, that's what you're paid from. Okay. It's not what title whoever hits that month, or doesn't hit that month. It's the title that they are. Okay. So that's another thing to keep in mind. So for instance, when you are, say you have a superstar consultant frontline. Superstar consultant is the lowest percentage that you get as, where am I at? Superstar. So say your director and your superstar consultant is paid at, say, lead consultant. You don't get paid the, well, you get paid the 2% off of whatever their TWV is. You don't get paid whatever title they're actually at that month. Okay. Sorry, I had to get my chart out to make sure I was correct. So I know Anya probably hit on everything for the importance of being paid at title, but you're literally leaving money on the table. We have a top 10 TWV every single month. And for the last few months, we've had about 5 people not included in that top TWV because they weren't paid at title. That speaks volumes, okay? This also goes back to being the best, whatever you are right now, instead of focusing on, I want director, I want director, I want director, but you haven't been paid at title for 3 months as superstar consultant. No, we're not even talking about director. We're talking about superstar consultant. Okay. 3-month consistency as a director is a thing for a reason. You want to be paid at your title at least 3 months in a row. That's when we know that you're getting good in your title, right? It's going to probably be longer. It might be shorter if you promote faster, but that's the goal. You want to be paid at title. We're not, everybody, we stress the director because it's a huge freaking deal, but be the best star consultant you can be the best superstar consultant you can be. And then those promotions will come naturally. The last thing you want is an unnatural promotion. And I'll just say that, okay? The last thing you want is an unnatural promotion. You want to have the big foundation of your business to be settled. Now, if you promote before then obviously it's for a reason. We're going to focus on what happened, and we're going to try and focus on repeating that, right? To be paid at title. But just make sure that you're focusing on where you're at, and that your goal is to be paid at title or higher. So if you're not paid at title, or you don't hit that goal that's higher than paid at title, you're still paid at title. Okay. I am going to stop recording.